So here we've got, this is my result, top 10 best designed websites in the world, the best website designs. And here's this is actually my meta description. Top 10 best designed websites in the world, shows you the best web design techniques and explains why I think these websites work. So what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks is doing some experiments with changing this content. Now, this should be the title tag of the page, and this should be the meta description of the page. And really that is the only purpose of your page's meta description. It's meant to be copy that sells the page. So there's a few things that are very important to understand here. One is, it's very tempting to put your keywords, to stuff them into the title tag, to put lots of different permutations and different phrases, stuff them all into one title tag. But the risk there, obviously, is that you can end up with a title tag that when people see it in the search engine results, just doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense and it doesn't instantly seem to match what you want, then you may be getting a lot fewer clicks than maybe you deserve at that point. And this is one reason why these websites down here may be underperforming, may be performing beneath the curve of what you'd expect. Now, before we talk any more about that, I just want to go back into the data. Just reviewing this graph again, we haven't got anything that's quite up at 40%. One thing that I generally teach my students when we're talking about SEO on the Pro Web Design course is that when you're using the Google AdWords keyword research tool, or when you're using Market Samurai, we generally recommend that you should use phrase match rather than exact match, because we understand that that is going to be a slightly more accurate approximation of where you're going to get your traffic from. So the next thing that I did in the data here was I went for actual visits phrase matched from Google Analytics. So here's Google Analytics and here's Web 2.0 design. Now for that exact phrase, I got 977 visits in the month. But if I filter all the results and I say filter keyword containing Web 2.0 design, and then click go, it was 977. Here we've got all the results. There's 136 different permutations, different phrases that people have typed in and then clicked to visit the site that contain that exact phrase, Web 2.0 design. So I've got Web 2.0 designs, Web 2.0 design examples, design tutorial, etc. And there's quite a long tail in that. If I look at the percentage, then Web 2.0 design is a big chunk. It's nearly 2/3 of all the visits. But there's a lot more. There's a long tail just on Web 2.0 design. So one thing that you can take from that, of course, is, we quite often say, well, how do you optimize for the long tail? Well, what I would say is, if you optimize for that major term, this is my most popular search term in the last month, if you optimize around that term, you will also lift the long tail as well. So I went through all of the data and I copied those results. So here's 1626 for Web 2.0 design. And I went through all of those top 50 and typed in the actual numbers there. So then what I did was I made a copy of the graph, and this is the phrase matched result. And here you can see again, still we're not quite hitting 40%, but there's a slightly neater distribution coming down there. There's still, though, quite a few results down here that are underperforming. And my main message out of all of this to you is you should be doing this for your own results. At the very least, go into Google Webmaster Tools and see, for the ones where you're ranking in the top 10, what is your click-through rate here? So there's the average position, 70, click-through rate 1%, that's okay. But I think it's definitely worth looking to see which of your pages are underperforming even just at this point, even just in the search engine results. Okay? So conclusions from this are, yes, the shape of the graph seems to hold true. You can expect click-through rates of 20, 30, 35%, but you can't take this as gospel. You can't say, oh, we're going to rank a position 1, position 2, and take that to the bank. It just doesn't work like that because your pages may be underperforming. So do not ever overlook the importance of the selling factor of this snippet in the search engine results. You should make people think, for when they type in that certain phrase, first of all, the title tag should definitely include the keywords, obviously, and they'll get bolded here by Google. But also the title tag should be, I believe, a readable phrase. It should be as long as it needs to be. It should obviously include your keywords, but it should neatly sum up what the page says, what the page is about, without being crammed with too many different keywords as to make it unreadable. And also have a meta description. Make sure that your search phrase is also in your meta description, because if it isn't, then Google's going to find occurrences of that phrase within your content, and it's going to take a chunk of the content of the page rather than the meta description. That's how I believe it works right now. So just to sum up then, yes, the pattern of that distribution seems to hold true. There are ways, though, you can also underperform and you can overperform, and let's look at a few of these. Now, I've investigated this one. So this is getting a high click-through rate. It's like 1 in 11, and it's way down on page 2. Now, that's actually a search for my name, Ben Hunt. So what I'm guessing is there's a lot of, I know there's sports people out there with the same name as me, but there must be quite a few people who are searching for my name online, and what they want is they want to come to this website or something else. So they are willing to go through to page 2 because it's what they want. So we can pretty much kind of discount that particular link. Here's some other ones. So here is one that averages round about position 1 but gets 0.22% of clicks, which is that's like 1 in 400. So let's just do a search for that. I'm going to do search, match entire cell contents here. So here's 0.22. This is the result. It averages position 1.2 and it gets very, very poor share. Now, what is that term? Style block. Okay, so if I go into Google and just type in style block, then here's my result, and it's at position number 1 right now. And that's talking about CSS block and inline. Block or inline style. Now, there may be lots of other things that people mean when they type in style block. I don't know what those things could be, but what I do know is a lot of those folks are not clicking on this link because it isn't particularly applicable to what they want. So from that, we could then say that in certain situations, yes, you might rank highly because you've got a lot of inbound links, but a phrase can also be broader than your page is about. So I would discount that as well. Generally, we're looking at this graph, but we really, really do need to be waking up to and paying serious attention to the click-through rates right from that first stage, the search engine results, because it's a vital part of the user experience and it's a vital step in your conversion rate and where your traffic comes from on your website.